back to my channel. Today we are doing a wear test on the Beauty Blender Boost Firming and Smoothing Peptide Primer. Say that 3 times fast. So if you want to know how that worked out for me and what my final thoughts are, then just please keep on watching the video. Thank you. Okay everyone, so we're just getting right into the video, and we're using today the Beauty Blender Boost Firming and Smoothing Peptide Primer, and this is what it looks like. Really pretty packaging. I picked this up at Sephora 2 weeks ago. I know I ordered it when it first came out, and now is when I'm getting a chance to use it. So this is what it looks like. It's like a pinkish color, and we're just gonna apply it on the face. And I'm just using my hands because this is how I put on my primer every time. I always apply it with my hands. I don't use anything else. And it feels really nice. It's like, feels kind of like a moisturizer with serum in it. And that absorbed really nicely. So this is my face with it on and without it. So you can see like the subtle difference. I'm going to take a little bit more because I didn't get my mustache area. Just like a little dot. And I'm only doing half of my face. You guys know I always stick to half of my face when I do these reviews, so you can see the difference. And I'm using a foundation that I've used plenty and I know works great with my skin, so that if anything goes wrong, I know it's the primer and not the actual foundation. So that foundation we're using today, after all that, is the Giorgio Armani. You guys should know, one of my holy grail foundations. I have shade number 6. I'm just shaking it up before I put it on my face. Always shake up your foundation, not your primer, unless your primer is a liquid, before you use it. I think that's good. And then we're going to use my Real Techniques. This is the Seamless Complexion Brush. I had to pick up another one. If you guys didn't know, I used it in a video, and I absolutely fell in love with this brush. So I just put it right on my brush, and we're just gonna dot that on and apply. And I have to say that the primer did not have a scent that I could pick up on when I put it on. So that is nice, because I don't like when companies put fragrance in things that we don't really need fragrance in, you know? So there it is right there. And as you can see, I don't know if it's the primer, but it's, my skin's not fully covered here, but I tend to have that problem there anyways. So I'm gonna go with a second pump and just cover the areas that did not get covered as much, because I feel like it looks very natural. Excuse me. I had a little hiccup burp. I get those a lot. That's what I call them. I know they're not hiccup burps, so no need to correct me. And I will put concealer on that off camera, because you guys have seen me do that many times, trying to keep the video short as possible. So like I said, I'm focusing on my right side of my face. I will do the other side of my face off camera, because we're just trying to show what it looks like with the primer underneath. So there you have it. And it looks very, okay, from far away, you can see like it has more of a sheen. This foundation typically does not have this much of a sheen. It's a satin matte finish. So I had to stop for a minute because my throat is doing something weird today, so excuse that. So what I was saying is that I'm just going to continue on and apply on this side of my face too, so you guys can see the difference. I had originally planned to not do this to cut back on time, is what I was going to say, but we're just gonna keep moving forward. So you can see that it covered more without the primer. Maybe with the primer, I should have waited a little bit before I applied it. So I'm going to go in with a little bit more foundation again, just to cover those spots. And maybe you need to do that. But when I looked on the directions, it didn't say anything about that you should wait a few minutes you know, like let it sit or whatever. Because typically when I put primer on, I don't even wait. I just do, you know, the foundation right away. So yeah, we'll do everything else off camera, and then I'll come back with check-ins. You know how we usually do. Okay, so as you can see, this is the side with the primer, and I feel like this side looks a little more dewy, and this is the side without the primer. So it's not that much of a difference in my opinion. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, so this is what my face is looking like. It is 3 o'clock right now. This is a late check-in, late start to my day, I should say. So yeah, so I'm gonna go through the rest of my face off camera. I don't know if I'm gonna do a full beat today or whatever. We'll see what happens. And usually I try to come back between like an hour or 2 hours, depending, whatever, if I see anything happening. So we will be back is what I'm trying to say. Forgive me for that long ramble. So I'll see you later. Okay, everyone, so it is now been an hour and 30 minutes. It's actually almost 5 o'clock. So actually it's been almost 2 hours since I put on the face primer. I'm just wiping off some swatches with my hand. So this is what my face is looking like. I haven't set it or anything. I didn't put any like setting spray because I want to see how it works by itself. And if you're wondering about this look, I filmed it and I should hopefully have it in the description box. So it's holding up really well. Like, I don't see anything right now. One thing I did notice though at the beginning, after I put on my concealer, it started to look a little bit like it was pilling here. And then I also noticed a little something here, but I have blush on now, so I don't see it now. But I just noticed here it was like pilling a little bit where I put my concealer. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on that, and then we'll come back and then I'll give you my final thoughts about everything. So I'm gonna go eat and I'll be back in an hour at least, hopefully. See you then. Okay, everyone, it's like 6 o'clock. I'm trying to lose the sun. I just want to do another check-in with the primer that we tried on today. So I don't know if you guys can notice, but I feel like I'm getting just a little bit more creasing on this side of my face, on my forehead, than on this side of my face. As you can see, this is the side with no primer, this is the side with primer. So I'm noticing that a little bit more. But other than that, it's holding up very well. And then I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but when I put on the concealer here, I did get a little pilling here, and I just kind of brushed it off and just put some more powder, and then it was fine. And then I also noticed that here on this cheek, like I was looking kind of like maybe it was dry or patchy, but it's okay now because I have blush on and you can't even see anything. But it's really holding up very well. And as you can see, a little more creasing on this side, not so much on this side because I do get creases now more in my skin. But as you can see, and I have to say that's definitely from the primer, because I've used this foundation many times and it doesn't do this. This is what it's looking like without primer, and this is what it's looking like with primer. And I've had this primer on now a total of 3 hours. So I'm gonna just keep wearing it for the rest of the day. I might be coming back again another day because it's 6 o'clock at night. I like to use natural lighting. So hopefully I will come back tomorrow at the latest and put it back on again and then just give you my final thoughts. But right now, so far so good, except for those 2 little issues that I'm mentioning. And it does feel very comfortable on the skin. I feel like I'm not wearing anything. So I will see you when I come back. Okay, I just want to pop on here real quick and show you guys. I don't know if you can see. Do you see how gray my face looks? Like, can you see it? This is the side that has the primer. No primer on this side, but it literally, I don't know if it's because since I used a brush and, you know, has residual on it, and then I brought it over here with the same foundation brush after touching the primer, it's literally gray. And I haven't gotten this in a while. Like, if you see carefully, that's I'm doing a video. I'm getting ready to take off my makeup. It's like almost 11 o'clock at night. So I just wanted to show you guys. So this is reminding me of another foundation I tried, the Becca one, and it did the same thing to me. So I'll be back to talk more about it. Okay, everyone, so here are my thoughts on the product. I do apologize. It's been like 2 weeks since I tried it. I was sick, and now that I'm better, I want to close up the video for you guys. So this is called the Beauty Blender Boost Firming and Smoothing Peptide Primer. That's such a long name. It sells for $29, and you get 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of product. And I like the packaging. The packaging on this is really nice. It's nice and compact. I feel like it'll fit nicely in any cosmetic bag that you use. So here are the downs on this product. There was some pilling on the area that I put my concealer, but I just brushed it off and repowdered it. It was okay. There was definitely more creasing on the side of my face that had the primer. Definitely noticed that quite a bit of a difference because I don't get that much creasing, but there was like 2 times more creasing than normally we get, is what I'm trying to say. And it turned my foundation gray. Like if you guys saw in this last clip, my concealer, not my concealer, my whole face was gray. And then I had put some on this side, like on the side that wasn't supposed to have primer, and I noticed that that part of my face was gray as well. So I don't know what it is in it, but it turned my foundation gray. So that's a no. I don't like any of those things that I just mentioned. Now, some of the positive things about it is the size of it is great. It has no fragrance. It definitely made my foundation last even longer than it typically does, because I did wear this for a total of 9 hours, so from 3 to 12 midnight. And there was no spacing. Like usually by that time, my foundation has faded in certain spots on my face. It was completely on there. The only thing is it was just gray, and I didn't like how that looked. And my face didn't look any drier either, which was good. So overall, it is a good primer if it doesn't do the cons on your skin. But for me, it was a no. I had to return it because it was like, no, I'm not going to wear primer that's going to cause more creasing, and it's definitely going to make me look gray. Because I could probably deal with the creasing, but the gray, I was like, that's a no. So I did go back. But here is some of the facts on Sephora. It says that it's a cooling primer with firm peptides and ceramides that grips makeup for up to 18 hours and locks in hydration for up to 24 hours. And I would have to say that lasting up to 18 hours, yes, I would believe that, because I had it on for half that time and it didn't go anywhere. And I would say that my face hydration did stay in place. I didn't look drier towards the end of the day, like I said. The finish is definitely radiant. You saw the difference when I applied on one side of my face, that my face did look a lot brighter. And even the foundation that I use, which is a satin matte, looked more dewy than it typically does. And it says that this is good for normal, oily, and dry combination skin. I agree that any skin type could definitely use this primer. I think that it's worth a try because you might not get the issue that I had about it making my foundation look gray. And it says the concerns are for dryness. I could see how they would say that, because if with someone like myself who has dry skin, I felt like that it did hydrate a little extra my skin. So if you're someone that tends to have dry skin, I think it's worth a try, like I said before. So highlight ingredients are Hydra Pep Complex. It's a blend of peptides and mimosa flower extract to visibly firm and tighten. So I don't know about the firm and tightening. I think that's something you would have to use for quite a while to see if that works or not, because I literally used it for 1 day. So I can't acknowledge that fact. And then it has ceramides, which nourish and replenish the skin barrier. I would say that it did, because like I said, my skin did look more hydrated. And it has vitamin B5, which intensely hydrates skin. I don't know about intensely hydrating the skin, but it definitely gave me a little bit more hydration. So that's all I have to say about this primer. If you haven't tried it, get yourself a sample, try to see if it works out for you. I think it's a good product. It just didn't work for me, so unfortunately I did return it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.